So thank you for agreeing to talk to us. Your answers to the following questions are going to help us improve services to women like yourself. So we really appreciate you coming along. Don't worry, everything that you say is going to be confidential, so all of your answers won't be used outside. No one will know that it was you who answered the questions. If you're unsure about any of the questions, just let me know. Don't feel pressured to answering any of them. It's absolutely fine. Or if you don't understand any of the questions, please feel free to ask me any questions that you have. Feel free to talk for as long as you like, but this interview should last roughly 15 to 20 minutes. The questions I'm going to ask are going to be related to your pregnancy and your childbirth experience. So they are of a sensitive nature. So if you don't want to answer any questions, don't feel any pressure at all, that's fine. Okay. So are you ready to start? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So the first section of questions is going to be based around your pregnancy before the baby arrived. So did you feel that you received adequate information during your pregnancy and birth experience? Yeah,
I did, yes. There was lots of information about, and it was up to me to, the midwife is always there.
Yeah.
You're put into the system as soon as you go to the doctor and have your pregnancy confirmed.
And did you find that any of the information that you received was conflicting between different sources? Or?
I did. I asked family for a lot of support, of like the female members in my family.
Yeah.
But things change from when you have children. So you could have a child 4 years later, and everything's changed.
Yeah.
So you're just starting again in a way.
So just generally, how did you feel your pregnancy went? What were the good things? What were the bad things?
I did enjoy both of my pregnancies. The bad thing is it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and you could be really happy one minute and then you're in floods of tears the next.
So moving on to talk a little bit about stress. Before you were pregnant, how did you manage with day-to-day stress?
Before I was pregnant, it was. Before I was pregnant with my first son, it was just me and my husband, so there was really no stress.
Yeah. During the two pregnancies, did you find you had to deal with stress in different ways?
The first pregnancy I got looked after more, and the second pregnancy not so much. But I guess that's just life, yeah.
And so did you find during your second pregnancy that it was a more difficult pregnancy because you were having to deal with the stress of having another child?
And my job changed as well. I had no job to go back to after when I had my second son, and I knew that when I left.
Right.
So that really did stress me out, thinking how are we going to pay the bills and things like that. But again, I think that I did speak to my midwife about it, and she gave me some breathing techniques. Okay. I was quite ill during my second pregnancy as well. And the breathing techniques, I used to have really strong injections, and some of these injections were really painful. And I used those breathing techniques, and they helped me during my second pregnancy to deal with the stress. And again, I use those breathing techniques now just to calm myself. But she gave me those techniques, and had I not talked to her about it, I would never have got through as I did. So, and I still use those breathing techniques now when I'm feeling stressed, because now I've got two boys, and that can be stressful. Yeah. I do use those techniques. They have really helped me. That's how I dealt with that stress. Yeah.
During pregnancy, did you ever feel overwhelmed, unhappy, or depressed at all?
I did. My first pregnancy, I felt like on top of the world, because it was really nice and everything. It was brilliant. Everything was going well. And my second pregnancy, I felt really, really overwhelmed with everything, because I knew that my second son would be starting school. I've got no grandparent help, so I was stressing about how am I going to get him to school and with a newborn baby, and what job am I going to work afterwards. So my second pregnancy was tarred because I was under that stress of not knowing what I'm one of these people that needs to know where I'm going. And I found that quite stressful. So it did depress me, it did. And I think it knocked on when I had my second son as well. I felt a bit of, I think I did have some underlying postnatal depression. And again, my midwife picked up on that. She was brilliant. I had the same midwife before, during and after birth. And I did feel depressed, to be honest. And she helped me pick myself up, to be honest, because she saw it quite quickly.
Yeah.
And because I've got no grandparent help, because my parents not being around, she did pick on it. She saved me in a way, because she picked up on it so quickly. Yeah. So during my second pregnancy, I did feel depressed, because I didn't know what I was doing or where I was going afterwards.
Yeah. So you said that you got some help from your midwife. Were there any other sources of information that you looked to, or sources of help?
I didn't, because after birth, I was so caught up with this baby. You just don't have time to seek. And she was coming home, because they come home up for a certain time. So she'd come to visit me at home, and it was her who picked up on all of this, and I didn't have time or the inclination to go and seek help. She came to me and spotted it, thank God. So yeah, I didn't have time, to be honest.
Okay. Did you feel prepared for the arrival of your baby?
Yeah, I did. I felt really well prepared. I was definitely nesting towards the end.
And did you find that with your second pregnancy, you were more prepared or less prepared? Or
I was definitely less prepared.
Less prepared.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I was so delayed in getting everything ready for my second pregnancy, and I think it's because you become, I don't know, complacent in a way, and you think, oh, you know, you don't, I can do it while I'm having contractions.
Yeah. And did you attend any antenatal care classes? Or
I did. With my first son, I did the tour of the hospital and all of that. With the second son, I didn't.
And when you were doing the classes in the first pregnancy, did you find that they were like you could find information about them easily and they were easily accessible to you?
Yeah, they were. I just Googled, you know, I knew what I wanted to do was when I fell pregnant. I'd heard other mums doing aquanatal and pregnancy yoga, so I knew I wanted to do it. And I knew that they got booked up quickly, and I just Googled them. And I actually did the NCT classes as well, the National Childbirth Trust classes. They were good as well. But again, you had to get in there really quickly. Really? They were booked like from months ahead.
Yeah.
And I remember being on a waiting list for a lot of these services.
Right.
And the second time around, when I tried to do them again, they just weren't either there, or they were I couldn't get to them. You know, they were at the wrong times of the day, and so I ended up doing no classes for the second one at all. Right. It was just the way.
So is that something that you would like to see improved?
Definitely, yeah, because I would have definitely. And a lot of these classes, they're expensive. They're not free.
So once your baby was born, did you feel unhappy or depressed at all?
I think my first pregnancy, no. I ended up having a cesarean with my first baby, and I didn't feel depressed, to be honest. No, I don't think I did. But my second son, I did, yeah. Right. I did. I felt quite low, and I had complications I had a natural birth the second time, and I had complications where I had an infection, and that really, really did depress me, because the antibiotics that I was taking for my infection, they were going through my breast milk to my son, and he was just dopey. He was sleeping the whole time, and I thought, this is not right. Yeah. And I ended up giving up breastfeeding because of it, and that did really upset me.
So you said that your midwife was very helpful after. Yeah. Did you seek any other forms of support at all? I mean,
I think again, because you take your baby and you go tootle off home, and that's it. You know, they think that it's finished. You know, their job's done, which it is in a way. And again, because I was so busy with the kids, you don't access. Once she came to see me for up to when the baby was 10 weeks old or something, and then after 10 weeks, that's it.
Really?
And you're in a hole, you know, and you're like,
support.
You need more support, and then it's up to you to access. But at 10 weeks, having been through birth, your body's not ready to be mega organised to access that help. You know, you're not ready to go out and on the internet and go out and meet other mums and go to the Sure Start. You're not ready to do that at 10 weeks.
So would you think maybe that the midwife visiting for a longer period of time, would that be helpful?
Yeah, because the midwife's there to like make sure the mum's recovered, and once you're okay, she what do they say? They release you from their care, and then the health visitor takes over, and they look after solely the baby. But I think that needs to be longer, because the mum's not no way is the mum ready to like go and walk to have her baby weighed or go and seek support. Yeah, I think that needs to go on for longer.
So did you feel there was a lot of support for the baby itself, but not enough for the mother
Yes.
after birth?
Yeah, and I think that's missing because you're that baby's main carer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're not 100% or even 110%, you're just like, you're losing that battle. It's not a battle, but you're losing before you've even started. And
yeah, you need to look after yourself to be able to look after the baby.
Exactly, you're absolutely right. And I think that stressed me out during my pregnancy as well, because I knew that like, right, I'm going to be on my own here, and you know, how am I going to cope? How am I going to do it with 2 kids? You know, extra washing, all of that. And I think the aftercare. I mean, like, there's lots of help, you know, for weaning and helping them like, you know, like eat properly and things like that. But there seems to be a gap. So right when they're born, there's lots of support, and then when they start eating, there's lots of support. But those few months in the middle, you're sort of lost in the ether, and you're not up to scratch yourself to go and seek help. So that little gap there, I feel there needs to be more.
So just moving on to some questions about accessing support. During pregnancy and after birth, where would you like to be able to access support?
Oh gosh, where would I like to access?
Yeah, so where would you find it most easy? So in a community centre or in a GP's office or at home?
I would say a community centre.
Would you feel that it would be useful to have a place where mums could meet, so it's not just all information coming from professionals, it's information coming from other mothers and personal experiences as well? Yeah,
without a doubt, I agree with you, without a doubt. I've thought that for a long time, because I'm a mum and I know what I went through, and I wouldn't, if you were having a baby, if I could save you from that, I would save you, and I would help anybody like that. And I think that it's important to have that. Whereas you went to the Shore Start, I did a few classes there, and you went there, and then they give you like 20 minutes to have a cup of tea and a biscuit, and you're like, 20 minutes, like, what do I need to ask? And that's not enough time for you to do that.
Too much pressure.
And they're like, right, sorry, we've got the next class, off you go.
So there's just some questions here about bonding with your baby. So the first question is, what did you do to look after yourself during pregnancy?
What did I do? I ate healthily. I was on a seafood diet, see everything and eat it. I think I looked healthily. Oh, sorry, can you just repeat that?
What did you do to look after yourself during pregnancy?
Yep, I did. I looked after myself. I read a lot the first time, and then the second time I dug the books out again, and I did read everything again. I watched a few the programs about birth and stuff on the telly. I didn't in my second pregnancy. I thought I knew it then. But looking after myself, I felt like I needed to be informed, because I'm a firm believer in that knowledge is power. So if I had the knowledge, I felt okay about it. And
was there anything that could have happened to support you better during your pregnancy and childbirth?
I don't think so. I think that there's a thing that you can get oversaturated with too much information. I think it's about right, and you can access it if you want to. But definitely after, there needs to be some sort of more support. No, I don't. I think there was enough information around for you to access, and there was enough things to do.
Okay, brilliant. Right, well, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for answering all those questions and being so honest. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that you think needs saying?
No, I'm happy with that.
Just to reiterate, this is all confidential, and everything you've said in this interview will be completely confidential, so don't worry about that. Can we just check that we've got your correct contact details? So you are Krishna Patel, and you work for Voluntary Action Leicester. And your phone number is 0116 25. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You were really good, because it felt like you were interested to know.
I was interested,
and it felt like you were really what was the word? You were so forthcoming and everything, and it felt good that you were interested. And you haven't got kids?
I've not got kids.
No, but I couldn't tell or anything. I felt like I could relate to you.
I'm glad. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you felt comfortable because they were quite personal questions.
They
as
were,
well.
yeah, and I had to think about some of them, but really did. But you were really good at interviewing. I enjoyed that. Thanks.